What an adventure! I'm sad to say that it's coming to a close though. I'm in Fuleli right now, about 30 minutes to Nuntala, and well, I'm just about a day or two before I go back to Kathmandu. I wanted to give a recap of what happened. I started in Salary. I took a jeep in, 12-hour jeep to Salary, which was not so bad, better than some jeeps I've taken, some buses that I've taken. But I took jeep to Salary, then walked from Salary to Fuleli, which was about 24 kilometers. It's a really long walk. That was my first day going down. I went down for about 3 hours that day. So I still have to do that, which is, I'm really not looking forward to. I have to go up for maybe 5 hours, 6 hours. That's gonna be a beast, but it's my last day. I can pull through. From Fuleli, I went to Pupsa and Surke, Fakting, Namche Bazaar, Tenboche, Dingboche, and finally, Dugla, and then finally Gorakship in order to make it to Everest Base Camp and Kalapatar. The first 8 days that I was here, it poured rain. It was pouring every day that I walked, every day that I was here, and I loved it. I didn't mind at all because, for one, it kept the sun off of me when I was hiking. You know, if the sun was blazing like it is now, I would be so hot hiking up and down these hills. So I'm really grateful that it was raining and the sun was behind the clouds. It was also good, I didn't know at the time, but it was also good because all of the flights were canceled outside of Lukla, to get into Lukla. So there were no tourists. 99% of tourists fly into Lukla, and none of them were able to come. So I had the entire place to myself. I met one Korean boy and one guy from, from the Netherlands, I think. They were the only two people I met on the entire trail up until Dingboche. Even Namche Bazaar was completely deserted. It was really a unique experience that I'm so grateful for. And I had heard, once I got to Gorakship, some of the people told me, at times there's a 20-minute wait just to take a picture with Everest. That's crazy! I can't imagine people just in a line going down this path. It would be terrible. And they were saying how much cleaner it is without the tourists. It's bad for business, I understand. This is such a business area. People make money with this. So it was bad for the locals, but it was really, really good for me. Oh, and when I got to Monjo and I bought my ticket, I asked, there's a signboard, and it said 6,500 people came last year in October to Everest Base Camp to enter the national park. And I asked them how many people were in the park right now, and they said there were about 35. So that's a very, very low number. I didn't see 35 people. I saw maybe 10 the entire time I was in the park. I saw 2 people walking when I was going up into the park, but very, very few people once I was in the park. It was glorious. The people that I did see, they took helicopters here. It's really interesting. I'm gonna make a whole video on the price and how to save money and how to do this one way or another. Some people take helicopters, which actually wasn't as expensive as I thought. It was about $400 per ticket for the helicopter. It's $200 to fly into Lukla, so it wasn't a big difference. But I'm gonna make a whole video on this. For this time, I just want to talk about the experience. Tengboche was fantastic. I loved it. I loved the monastery. It got me in the mood to do this hiking. Oh, so it rained 8 days or more up until Dingboche. And when I got to Dingboche, I was at the point where I was far enough ahead of any crowds that could potentially come that I was kind of wanting it to clear up. I felt like all I was seeing was mist. And people come to Everest, come to the Himalayas to see the mountains. So I was starting to get to the point where I was hoping, you know, for this video that I wouldn't have just a wall of mist. So in Dingboche, about 2 days away from Everest Base Camp, it started to clear up just a little bit. It was still pretty misty, but it started to clear up just a little bit. When I got to Dugla, it was unbelievably clear. I woke up in Dugla and it was so clear, it was so beautiful, not a cloud in the sky. I decided to go to Everest Base Camp that day, which is a bit longer walk than most people. Most people go to Gorakship, sleep, wake up and go to Everest Base Camp. But I did it from Dugla, because I didn't know, the next day it could be cloudy again. But I woke up very early, I went from Dugla to Everest Base Camp, and it was glorious. There wasn't a cloud in the sky, it was absolutely perfect. I'm so grateful. That's exactly, if I could have planned it, that's exactly what I would have done. I would have had it rain every day I was walking up to base camp, and then the day I got to base camp, have it be completely clear. So it worked out wonderfully. The next morning, I went to Everest Base Camp, I walked back, my legs were done. I had walked so far and so long, so the next morning, I woke up and I climbed Kalapatar, which is 5,500 meters. It's kind of the highest point that you get on the Everest Base Camp trek. Did that, and then I started my descent. I decided to walk to Namche Bazaar. And I was pretty exhausted at the end of that day. That was about a 33 kilometer hike. So that was fun, that was exhausting. I got to get back to Namche, and Namche was nice. It's like a huge city in comparison to the rest of this place. Namche is like the Sherpa capital of the world. That's what they say. From Namche, I started walk back. I went to Surke, which is another 22 kilometers, I think, 22 kilometers. And then from Surke, I walked to near Nontala, this place, Fuleli. That's another 20 kilometers. Fuleli is fantastic. Fuleli is by far my favorite place in this whole trip. It's quiet, it's peaceful, there's no tourists here. I love it. I could easily live here for a certain amount of time. I really, really enjoyed it. And the family that I'm staying with has just been fantastic. They're very humble, they're very kind, they're very giving, they give everything that they have, and it's really nice. Once I have a home, I hope that I can be like them as well. I love this place. The sky is blue again. It was raining a little bit on the way back, which again I appreciated, so it wasn't burning my skin. Now the sun is back out, which is also good because I heard that it's very dangerous to take the jeeps back to Kathmandu. In fact, just recently one fell off of a cliff. It's very dangerous. We don't want it to rain. We don't want it to be wet and have landslides occur. So I'm hoping for a couple more days of good weather so I can get back to Kathmandu. But I wanted to share my experience. It was a lot of fun. Everest Base Camp is fantastic. The next time I come, I hope that I can climb to the top of Everest. This place is great. I'm so thankful that I could come here. I'm so blessed with everything that happened. This was a good trip. This was really, really nice. I really appreciate everyone who helped me and all the hardworking people that made this happen. I'm Chris across the world, and this is Fuleli!